thousands and thousands of records in my house in Portland, where I live. In fact, I've got a whole section of Romania, which I need to go back and listen to. It has Zamfir and Maria Tănase, and who else? Romanian folk dances. I mean, the Enescu. I mean, there's so many. But yeah, I've got collections from all sort of places from all around the world. One of the first songs that I ever remember hearing on the radio was when I was going to grade school on the school bus. The bus driver would be playing disco, so YMCA. Yeah. I remember that. That was maybe the first song that I remember really hearing on the radio. When I was growing up, my parents listened to not the radio so much, but they had a reel-to-reel recorder thing with tape. Yeah. And so I remember listening to Roger Miller and Ray Charles and Ray Conniff. Did I say that? Yes, and maybe the soundtrack to Jesus Christ Superstar. Oh. And one other thing. Oh yeah, New Christy Minstrels, sort of folk music from the 50s. I don't have a Facebook account.
Why is that?
Because it's too much. It's too much, isn't it? It's almost too much. I can't possibly keep up
with this.
With it, yeah. I can barely answer my emails.
I want to ask you: do you think that what do you think the internet helped your music?
I don't know. Did it?
I don't know. I think yes.
The thing is, I don't know. I don't know if it did or not. I guess maybe.
We know people are downloading illegally music. And
the thing is, I think that for a country like Romania, it must have been in the internet, because when we first came here, we had never been to Romania before, and I don't think the album was barely released here, and somehow still when we played 3 years ago, there were several thousand people who showed up, and I think that had everything to do with the internet. There's no other way.
Yeah.
So, I guess I would have to say that yes, it is a way that people are making a lot of sort of discoveries. It's just different, I didn't have a computer until recently. Recently meaning 7 years ago. I went to college without owning a computer, and 20 years ago when I was graduating from college, the internet wasn't even around. It was barely around. So it's such a new concept, and yet I'm realizing that that's how most people sort of spend a lot of the day.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
For some, yes. For some,
I find it somewhat terrifying. Simply because I like sort of real interactions with people in real time. At the same time, I guess it's really good because if you're isolated or you're sort of in one part of the world and then you get to sort of find out about something that's going on in the other part of the world and you get to see it, and this whole Skyping thing is really kind of, China's been Skyping with her son, who's 18 months, 15 months a year, 15 months, just a little over a year, and her husband, and it's amazing to watch them watch each other through this screen. I would
run. City?
Yeah, well, I would want to run for office in Portland, in my city, and I'd like to become mayor, because I would love to make the city better.
Okay, thank you.
Because right now it's a mess. Everybody in the band comes from a different sort of set of interests. They come from different parts of the world. For example, Martin Zarzar comes from Peru. He's the percussionist. Nicolas Croza comes from Argentina. He's the violinist. Hansi, who plays the cello, comes from Taiwan. I'm Mystery Asian. I'm adopted, but I sort of grew up studying a little bit of French and Russian and Japanese and German. And then China grew up studying French and Italian. Robert, who plays the trombone, grew up studying German as well. So I think that,
everybody-
because everybody has these different interests linguistically, and then also just in terms of different interests, like Dan Family loves jazz guitar, so he's like a fantastic jazz guitar player. Robert, who plays the trombone, does a lot of classical trombone. I mostly play classical piano, because the boys who play percussion are really into samba. So I think all of that, you put all of that together, what you get is really the band. Mm-hmm. They all live in Portland, and everybody owns a house, and it just sort of happened. And we're going to make we're making a symphonic record. I'm not sure when it's going to be out. We recorded a lot of it last year, but we've got to do some fiddling with it, and add some things and take out some things, and so I'm not sure when it's going to come out. But we are working on a holiday album, and then there's another studio album in the works too.
C'est magnifique être sympathique, mais je ne le connais jamais. Je ne veux pas travailler, non, je ne veux pas déjeuner, je veux seulement oublier. Et puis